All right, Homesteader family, welcome back to the journey. Welcome to this edition of the Sunday Monday vlog. That's what my boomers think I do. They think I just lay here on the couch all day sleeping, watching television, which, yep, that's what I was doing, with Lazy Butt Minnie Mouse, Lazy Butt Chubbs, Lazy Butt Mickey Mouse, Lazy Butt Max. But no, that's not what I do all day. I actually try to get some stuff done. However, this weekend has been another story. I am going to swing out here real quick. You can see the fire there. Hey, Norman, how are you? Hey, you and the dogs, and your dogs as well. I had a couple different people ask if I'm staying warm for the winter, if I have enough firewood for the winter. So for those of you that don't know, because I know I have a lot of new subscribers, all this plywood here last winter, I had a subscriber buy all the plywood here for me to stop all the air gaps because all the walls were like this. So all the air comes in between those boards from the outside, just like all those walls aren't insulated, but these walls didn't have anything on it. So I am staying warm. I have fire going. You can see I got plenty of wood there. And then, for those of you wondering, boom. I had that whole rack of firewood here in the backyard. So you don't have to worry about me not having enough wood, not having to worry about me staying warm enough, because Steve can tell you, oh, wow, thank you, Norman. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you, too. You can see the stove keeps me warm. Norman, you screwed me up. I'm not used to getting super chats. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you too. So let me get this set up, and I'm going to hop right over into my seat, and I'll go over everything that's happened this week. So I am super, super excited. I know some of you probably didn't watch the shorts or see. I don't know if I put up pictures or not. I've just had so much stuff going on. I went ahead a couple days ago. I went and put the sign, the marquee sign out here in front of the building. I went ahead and put the restaurant up for sale. Not ready to sell the restaurant, not ready to move. But, like my title says, dedication, motivation, or whatever my title is, something like that. Motivation, or dedication, motivation. And that's what I have right now. I have the motivation and the dedication to get to the homestead. I really, really want to get to the homestead. And I'm just, anything I can do. The ranch in Colorado is still up for sale by the guy that has it. So as soon as that sells, then I get paid what's left on the loan. If I can sell the restaurant, or if I can sell the 20 acres on the homestead, whatever avenue I can get to where I can get some money together to get to the homestead. Now, I have a lot of people asking on Facebook and here in private messages, and they want to know, you just learned a new concept called a vision map on my chalkboard, or my goals. It's a good concept. There you go, Norman. I don't have chalkboards, but everybody says I'm a boomer because I've got dry erase boards all over the place. I got dry erase board over there, so that way any type of notes I need, I can write it down. Most of the stuff is all the quorum court stuff I write down here while I edit the videos. The board over there is what I need at Home Depot, Walmart, things like that when I go to town. But I'm doing whatever I can. Like I said, steps and goals. You know, baby step, baby step, baby step. But I figure if I throw enough steps out there, something's got to land on a platform so I can take that next step. So, like I said, I got the homestead up for sale. I just put the restaurant up for sale. Colorado's still up for sale. And try and cut back on spending. However, I got some big news. I talked to a couple boomers over the weekend that called me up from all over the U.S. And we were talking about different things. And I did something last night at almost midnight. and that is, no surprise to most of you, more credit card debt. I found a small company, and for those of you that think just because I left Colorado and I've said bad things about Colorado means I want nothing to do with Colorado, I found a small family business in Colorado that had the inverter that I need. No other company has them. They're on eBay, but they're a lot more expensive on eBay. They're like $500-600 more. So I found the inverter I need for my solar system. So I went ahead, I put that on my credit card last night at almost midnight. It's supposed to be here by December 30th. And then Steve just told me I need battery cables. So I thought I had everything that he could rig to where I could have power, but I need battery cables. So I'm going to have to go and get battery cables. I don't know how much that's going to be. So that's just going to be on standstill right now until I can figure that out. Or I don't know, might go to Walmart and just get battery cables or something to just get me by. Not sure. Progress that has happened this week. This week started off with a bang. I was so excited. I'm going to get the shed cleaned out. I told you I was going to call the shed moving company. I was going to get on the schedule for January to get the shed moved. A lot of you have seen that video that the shed got moved Wednesday. So, I think it was Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I worked all day Monday. I worked most of the day Tuesday. And I was not feeling good. I was just exhausted, hurting. And I'm like, I'm not going to set an alarm. I'm going to sleep in Wednesday, do what boomers think I do, and just lay in bed all day. Well, 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, the shed guy sends me a message. If you're going to be around this afternoon, I might be able to squeeze you in as I travel by that area. What I didn't tell him was I only got half the shed cleaned out. I didn't get underneath the shed cleaned out. All the stuff around the shed didn't get moved. So he was telling me 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't see the message until like 7:15. He sent it at 7 in the morning. So when I saw that, I went into panic mode. I'm like, I've got to get all this stuff done. So I got a load of the steel. It was 260 pounds of steel. Got that to the scrap yard. Tin cans, bolts, screws, nuts, all different things. Just adding up in the truck. I had no idea how much it ended up being until they unloaded it, and it came out 260 pounds. So I got $22.75 from that. Not getting rich, but it's stuff I didn't need on the homestead, so got me a little bit of gas money. Came back from Harrison, got knocking out on the shed, cleaning out, moving the stuff from underneath the shed. Just as he got there, I was moving the last boxes out of the shed. He got his equipment unloaded and everything by the time I just finished up. So how that happened and how I was able to get that done in time is beyond me. I'm gonna do a video commercial type thing for him. It's not gonna be like all these channels that every video I'm gonna do a thing. Oh, thank you, Norman. So I'm not like most channels, they sell stuff. And so I'm going to make a video just for him. So if you guys don't want to see that video, you don't have to watch that video. But it won't be every video in the middle of my video. I'm not going to be like, hey, if you need a shed move, call this guy. Here's discount code. I'm not doing all that stuff. As you know, I've been doing this channel since 2016. Never done those type things. Except like Rhino that did the T-post driver for me and helped with the attachments and everything that they helped me with back in the day. I did throw some stuff out for them, but that's not a repetitive thing. But this kid, he's 31, young like me, started his own business, hustler, professional, very friendly, very kind. And like Steve said, Steve was following behind the shed. I was in front of the shed to make sure we could see both sides of the shed, front and back, so he didn't hit nothing. Some of the trees are so close. I mean, he come within inches. And I mean, he just floats it. Floated that 24-foot shed through the homestead a mile from the front all the way to the back, all the way up the mountain to my driveway. So my driveway goes down Purdom Lane and then U-turns and comes back up, but it goes up the mountain. So halfway up the mountain, you can look down Purdom Lane. So it ends up being a mile from the front to my house site for where he had to move the shed. So to go a mile through the woods, through the little bit of trees I've cleared, because we all know I haven't cleared that much, was amazing. So I want to make a video for him. I don't know when I'm going to get to that because I don't even edit my own videos. So that's going to be on the to-do. So that won't be like an immediate video. But just so you know, when that comes out, it's not going to be a constant thing like other channels. After that, Thursday, I started cleaning the shed out. There were so many mice in that shed. There were so many Japanese lady beetles. Got all the insulation ripped out. I've got a bunch of photos. I don't believe I put the photos up, so I'll probably put up photos tomorrow. I'll have to look at my account and see if I did, because I had so much stuff going on in my head. I wasn't sure what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I posted, what I didn't post, what I need to post. So if I didn't post photos, I'll go ahead and get some photos up for you guys. I also went back to Harrison and put the mold stuff on my credit card and a pump sprayer and all that stuff and got the shed sprayed down. It was almost dark by the time I got back. So I went over today and looked. I missed a whole bunch of different spots in the shed, so I need to go buy one more bottle, which mold spray, if you guys have ever bought the Rapid killing mold stuff, it's a green bottle. I can't remember the name. I used to get it for like $12.99 a jug. It's $40 a jug now for 1 gallon. So not only is food and everything inflated, but man, that stuff just skyrocketed. $12.99 all the way up to $40. So I've got to buy another one of those. I went through 2 gallons and a pump sprayer. Got all that sprayed. Went up there today. Well, that was Thursday and Friday. Saturday, I slept till 11:08. I was hurting. I was tired. Went over, fed the animals, talked to Steve, and we went and shot pool out in Marshall at Daisy Queen. So we grabbed lunch. We shot pool for probably 2-3 hours. That's the most pool we've ever played. After that, dropped him off, came home, and had my back go into spasm for a while. So that wasn't pleasant. And did not feel good. So I slept in again today. So the only thing I've done today is I've hauled water, fed the animals, and got 1 pickup truck load of firewood brought over. So this weekend has gone to hell because it's just, I overdid it. I way overdid it. But this upcoming week, I've got a lot of big plans. Sleep is important. Normally, I get plenty of sleep. I won't say that because with my back last night, I told my mama I was going to sleep around 11, and I didn't get to sleep till after 4 a.m. Because my back and neck was all messed up. My back's still messed up. It feels like a dagger in the side of my back right now. So I slept in again today. I set my alarm for 7. The alarm went off. I went back to bed. I don't think I finally got out of bed until 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then took a couple hours here just to get where I could get over there. Got over, watered them, fed them. The baby goats are doing good. I did make a little short video today with the little baby goats. And Nene, who was abandoning the babies, because I believe she was one of the ones that lost her baby last year. So she didn't have any bond or wanting to be with the baby. So I locked her up in one of those shelters, put a picnic table, a trucker strap, and she can't get out. So she's in there with the babies. The babies are doing good. They're having fun yelling and hollering and jumping around. So I can't wait till everybody starts popping. Then I'll have a whole lot of babies bouncing around. Also got baby cows coming. I wish I would get a baby camel, but we all know Caesar's not big enough for Cleopatra, so it is what it is. Emus, I don't know what I'm going to do with emus. I've had people asking since it's coming up to that time that my emus start doing eggs. Now that I've cleaned the shed out, I have access to the incubator. Am I going to bring the incubator back here to the restaurant and hatch out babies again and try to do it good this time? I'm not 100% sure. I know there's a lot of you out there wanting me to do emus again because some of you bought emus before. It's just I got so much on my plate. So, this upcoming week, my big plans. I'm going to Harrison first thing in the morning as I spill my coffee. I'm going to go grab another bottle of the mold stuff. I'm going to get the rest of the shed sprayed out. After that gets sprayed out, I'm going to let that bleach chemical smell sit in the shed for probably half of the week. No, I'm not only one man, Norman. I'm only one alien. You got me mistaken for somebody else. You can only do so much. Pace yourself. I tried, Norman, but I want everything done by 40. I want all the labor stuff done by 40. So if by chance the doctors are right and I'm going to be crippled by 50, then I want to know that it's just maintenance stuff. It's not any hard labor. So I'm going to probably end up killing myself on the hard labor. You know, I'll be 37 in February. So I only got 3 years to get this stuff done. So I'm going to try to have it done by 40. If not, then I guess 45 is my next goal. But that also counts on money. I need one of these properties to sell as well. But I'm going to let the mold stuff sit in the shed and just fumigate because it killed all the Japanese lady beetles. I had millions of them all over the floor. And anything that wants to go in shed, boom, it's dead. I used my mask. So you guys don't have to worry about that. I'm going to buy new face cartridges since the first one I used with all the mouse poop and stuff like that. Then once that's done, I'm going to air the shed out, and then I'm going to start getting the solar panels from Steve's place and get them taken over to my place so they're in the shed. The inverter's supposed to be here in the next week and a half. So as soon as that comes in, then I need to start clearing trees up at the house site because I got to get ready to start doing solar. As soon as I have power at the shed, I can start bouncing back and forth. Now, I've had a lot of people asking, am I moving over there before the first of the year? No, I am not moving over there first of the year. There's several big reasons why. The first reason is the steel roll-up door is not mouse-proof, air-proof, anything. It's got the gaps down the ridges of the metal steel. So I got to get that door ripped out, but I can't rip that door out until I have the money to put in the wall and the windows. I was thinking about doing the door, but now I'm thinking about just doing a wraparound porch. But I'm not 100% sure on what I'm doing with that. So the roll-up doors got to come out. New walls got to be put in. That's one of the big things. The second big thing is the shed's got to be insulated because I'm not going to burn through a ton of propane heating the outside air coming in and the inside air going out. I already did that my first year out here when I lived in the shed the first time and learned that the hard way. I got to get the shed skirted. I got to get the blue flame heater installed after the walls are on there. I've got to get outlets put in the walls. I have to get the solar set up. I got to get the solar installed. I got to get the solar running so I have power. And then I got to start moving stuff over there. So, like I said, my goal is by Christmas of next year, 2024, to be there permanently. If something sells and I come up with the money, then I'll be over there hopefully by June 1st of 2024. And if something happens like immediately, I'm going to try to be over there by like March 1st. So it's not going to be, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I know a lot of you are excited and want me to be there. I'm excited. I want to be there. But it's what I'm willing to suck up and do. I appreciate it, Norman. But yeah, so it's just, it's so much stuff to do. But my goal and my plan is there. My dedication and commitment, my motivation, I'm ready to do it. It's just, I'm not willing to go too far back to the way I used to live when I was struggling really, really bad. Like when I lived in the shed the first time, I had no power except the generator. Could only run the generator a couple hours a day because that's all I could afford. I had no running water. I'm not going to have any running water this next batch when I get moved over into the shed. I'm most likely going to get a gym membership in Harrison and go every other day to take a shower. And then another good reason, I have the pool. Then I can hop in, take swims when it gets warmer. But the solar is the number one thing. If I have power there, I can have my TV and sit on a couch or on my bed and relax. So I can have AC units to stay cool during the summer. Then that's what I'm going to do. But power is one thing. I'm not willing to go back living in the shed without power or a sufficient power system. I've got to have enough power to do what I want to do. I'm not running an electric hot water heater like here. I'm not running the electric dryer. I'll have to do laundry at the laundromat again in Harrison. Well, I'll do it here until the building sells, and then if this building sells soon, then I'll be back at the laundromat doing laundry in Harrison, which means more trips to Harrison, which ends up costing money too. But if something sells, then it's not as tight. No, I don't, Norman. I have no running water on my property, and to get a well on the property, they want it 28 to 35,000. So I'm going to do rain catchment off of my roof when I build my house. I do need to get gutters for the shed so I can start collecting some water off the shed roof. So if it's not for me, I can use it at least for the animals. When I build the barn, I'll have water catchment off of that roof, and then of course the pool in the back. If I can get that, what I think is a seasonal aquifer or spring or whatever you want to call it, artesian spring, if that comes back to life by having all that water in the pool, and when it blows through that pipe, and now that I got the culvert going so far down in the ground, I'm hoping that will activate and stay activated year round. Don't know if that's going to happen, but it's something I'm trying. Right, and I did rain catchment in Colorado too. So I don't know. I don't think you were following me back then, Norman. But when I had my house on Deer Mountain in Cotopaxi, I was rain catchment, I was propane, and generator, and solar. So I've done it before. Colorado, I didn't get enough water out here. Based on the averages of the 46 to 47 inches of rain a year compared to 7 inches of rain a year in Colorado, for the size of roof I'm going to have, will give me, I think, like 3,500 gallons a month. But I'm going to have the big cisterns like I had at my house too. So I'll be able to store probably, I might end up, if the ranch sells in Colorado, then I might end up buying like a 10,000 gallon cistern and have it trucked in. So that way I just have a massive water system underneath my roof for storage. And then I also will put an overflow valve from that tank going off the side of the cliff down to the pool. So any extra water coming off the roof that I can't contain in that 10,000 gallons will go down into the pool if the pool goes low, and then that can overflow into the dry creek bed and run off and go down the way it normally goes. But I'm gonna try that, and then I also want to rent excavator and do a bunch of ponds as well, and then I can also run pipes going back and forth and pumps once I have the solar fully set up, and pump water across the homestead to different ponds to keep ponds filled and things like that. Slowly but surely, if my alien intuition kicks in, and my thought is just like the, I think it was Cibola or something like that down in Texas, the guy that had one of the chicken restaurants. He bought a bunch of land in Texas and got grass. He said grass is the number one thing, grass and ponds, and the roots put the water in the ground and makes natural aquifers and springs, and then you get ponds and take out some trees, and the hydrology of the ground is a lot better. And that's what I'm hoping for. If I have so many ponds throughout the homestead, then there's water everywhere going into the ground except where the pool is, where I put the liner. And hopefully activate some springs where I can have water flowing on the homestead. And then that would also activate power source as well. However, the solar system I already purchased, I got 17 305 watt solar panels. So I think that's like 32,000 watts a day I can bring in or something like that. And I'll have like 3 or 4 days of 10 kilowatt per day power storage. So I'm going to have a massive system. I'll be able to do everything I'm doing here at the restaurant, plus more, because I'll never have an electric hot water heater in my house. I'll do propane. I won't have electric dryer. I'll do propane there, and my stove will be propane also. Kiwi Solar's having enough batteries. Yes, Norman. And I got the big batteries. So I don't know if you saw it, Norman. But since you did that awesome super chat, I'll give you a little sneak peek anyhow, just in case you didn't see it. So this is the big battery box here. And then I'm going to have to grab my flashlight. This is another thing bad with the restaurant is all the old wiring and old lights. It was burning so much power. So this is the cabinet of the solar system. And then it's going to have 6 of these batteries. And you can see each battery right there is 5,120 watt hours. So altogether, I'm going to have over 30,000 watt hours in battery storage once that whole cabinet is filled. And when that happens, here at the restaurant, with the electric hot water heater, with the electric dryer, with all the old wiring and bad lighting and stuff like that, I burn on average in the winter 10 to 12 kilowatts a day. So right there, if I have over 30 kilowatts, that's 3 days of storage. More like 4 days storage because I won't be using as much power over there. And of course, when I get in the shed, 2 batteries right there will be plenty for me in the shed, because the only stuff I'm going to have in the shed that's going to take up a lot of power is my big screen TV. I mean, it's not big screen. It's only like a 38-inch or something. I want a big TV. That's a to-do in the future. But like crock pot, microwave, things like that that are heating elements will be what will take a lot of power. Besides that, I mean, I'm doing everything I can. So like I said, I went ahead, I found the inverter. The inverter's going to be in by the end of this month. Shouldn't have put it on credit card, but it is what it is. We all do what we got to do to make things happen. And that's where the motivation and dedication comes in, people, is if you want something, you just got to make it happen. If you go into debt, you go into debt. That's what I do. I know a lot of you don't want to do it, but you're not going to get where you want to be if you don't take the risk. I have a lot of people say they envy me. They want to live the way I live. because I'm able to do so much at such a young age, where a lot of people weren't fortunate or able or capable to do what I do, whether it's disability or injury or loss of limb, things like that. Oh my gosh, Norman. That is way, way too much, Norman. I appreciate that so much. You're killing me, Norman. You're killing me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the $50 super chat. I hope all your dreams come true. And I know your dreams are coming true, Norman, because you got all them wonderful dogs from that litter. So I'm glad to see your Scottish kilt and your dogs and all the stuff I see on Facebook since you sent me that Facebook friends request. So I'm glad to see your journey as you get to share my journey. But I want everybody to realize, just like I say all the time, all these channels make it seem like rainbows and unicorns and glitter and all this stuff. You can't be envious of me, because how many of you are willing to move into a shed like I'm getting ready to without running water? No toilet, no sink, no shower, no tub, no water. How many of you could do that right now? How many of you would be willing to drive 25 miles every other day to take a shower just to make your dreams come true? How many of you, when I lost everything in 2011, I know, that wasn't filmed for this part of the journey, but how many of you would have built a hobo tarp tent and scrimped and saved and slowly bring yourself back up? A lot of you don't want to do that. A lot of you love that security of that 9-to-5 job. A lot of you like to being able to flick a switch. A lot of you don't want to do what I do. You ready for this? Because these are all the lights, the metal bars, not the light bulb things hanging down, but these old fluorescent tube lights that were busting and stuff like that. There's no lights in this room either. So you know what I got to do? I've got extension cords that are plugged in to those. And these lights above my head are plugged in right here. Pull that out, it goes dark. Most of you do not want to live this way to get to your final goal, to get to your dream, to get where you need to be. I make these sacrifices. So when I come in the door all the way there, I have to walk through this building in the dark to get all the way over here to plug that in. Because the outlets over there are all dead or burnt out, or the wires are loose and I'm trying not to have a fire. I do what I got to do to get where I need to go. And that's something you've got to consider when you look at these channels and you're envious of what other people are doing. Because what you see is only what they show you. You don't see the days of me here laying over on the couch in pain. You don't see my water bill of having to take an hour to 2 hour bath every single night for my neck and my back. You don't see all the stuff I got to do at the homestead, the sacrifices I do, the vacations I never go on, the frivolous money I don't get to spend. When you spend $2,500 a month in animal feed, what are you going to do? If you had to pay $2,500 a month right now in animal feed, all your stuff is gone. So yes, I talk about I go to Dunkin' Donuts here and there. Yes, I go to Colton's maybe 3-4 times a month. And I could cook my own food here and save more money. But for all the hard work I do, for all the extension cords I have to plug in, living in sheds without waters, living in campers without electric or water or a toilet, for living in old buildings, for everything I've done, going to Colton's 3 to 4 times a month, yes, that's frivolous money I'm wasting. But at the same time, if you don't give yourself any type of reward in life, then you're just surviving. You're not living. That's how I look at it. Yes, I have, Norman. I've got where my muscles are torn, so I don't have the joint issues, and my muscles are all balled up. So the TENS unit doesn't work as well. It worked when I was younger before I messed up my back, because I did labor work and stuff like that. But no, the chiropractic is what helps my back the most because they're able to release my muscles. However, the VA does not cover chiropractic care. I got chiropractic care while I was in the Air Force before I got medical discharge. But as soon as I got medical discharge, I lost that coverage because you have to be active duty service member in order to get chiropractic care. So that's the only downside of the VA on that part. Besides that, I mean, they're getting everything else taken care of for me. Doctor wanted me to get back on pills, but I don't want to do that either. But getting back to the motivation and dedication, everybody, you've got to decide. You've got to talk to yourself. You got to have your own little powwow with yourself. And you got to say, okay, I'm depressed today. I don't want to do anything. Well, that's when you have your powwow and you say, if I don't do anything, then I've got to do that tomorrow, which means I can't do this tomorrow, which means that goes to the next day and the next day and the next day, and your goals go so much farther out. When you're tired, like I am, and exhausted, you got to fight that alarm clock. You got to say, I got to get the stuff done. Now, when you crash like I did over this weekend, and your back goes into spasm, or your leg, or muscle cramps, whatever you might have that happens to you, dehydration, sinus pressure, migraines, whatever you might have, and it takes you down when you push too hard, then at that point, yes, you've got to sit back, you got to take a couple relax days, which, just like the Colton's thing of going to Colton's 3-4 times a month, that's my treat. I understand that at the same time, I need to treat myself by taking a day off here, day off there. It's just hard to do because in Arkansas, for those of you that don't know, the humidity is bad, the heat is bad during the summer. So unlike Colorado, where I had 6 months of hibernation during the bitter cold winter, where the ground's frozen solid and you can't do anything, I'm now out here where I have 3.5 months of extreme heat and humidity that I can't work in. I can't function in. Anything at like 80 degrees or more, it's a massive, massive struggle for me. So now with the temperatures at 60 and below, it's perfect working weather. And I look at it, my goal is have everything done by 40. If I don't have everything done by 40, then if the VA doctors are right and I'm crippled over by 50 because I don't listen to them, then I'll never get nothing done. Then I'm going to have a homestead I can't run, which means I either have to get rid of it, I have to find somebody to help manage it, which means I have to have money for that, or I just have to sell the animals, which is eating most of my money, and then that's kind of where depression might set in. So you've got to plan it out. You got to get your goals. You've got to take those risks. I know I said last week, pros and cons list, you got to do those. But when you're doing that pros and cons list, you also have to be able and be willing to take risks. If you don't take risks, you're never going to get nowhere. When I was living in Marshall with Carla, I could have moved into my Marshall house. That's 18 miles driving back and forth every day to take care of the animals. So do I go into more debt and buy the restaurant so I can be 6 miles from the homestead? Pros and cons. I took the risk. I moved as close as I could to the homestead. Not the smartest thing. Why? Now all my money's tied up. Marshall house, restaurant, homestead, Colorado. I can't just go buy all the fencing I need. I can't just build a barn. I can't just build my house. So that's another thing for you guys that you have to consider when you envy channels or people like me. Look how many years I'm going since I started this channel, 2016. I have not had a house since my house when I first had my channel started. When I finally got to my relief of I finally had water. I finally had some solar. Not enough solar, but I was finally getting in that comfort groove where I could live and not just survive. But 2016 to 2023, all these years, would you be willing or capable of struggling for all these years just to get to your vision, just to get to where your journey takes you? Let alone, like I said, life's not guaranteed to us. We could be gone tomorrow. So all these years I've been waiting, I may never get there. You may never get there. That's why the risk part, the debt part, is what I do. Because if I don't risk it, if I don't go into debt for it, I may never get there. To come up with the money to buy this solar, by putting a $2,000 inverter on my credit card last night at almost midnight, don't have the money, but guess what? All I need left is the battery cables, and I'll have power on the homestead. I'll have power in the shed, where I might be able to stay in the shed one day a week now and be able to look up at the stars, not here on the highway where everybody's got street lights and you got semis flying by. I'll be able to get some peace of mind. And give me 1 second. I know I've had a lot of people popping through. I appreciate it, Norman. I try to be a good speaker. It's all in the eye of the beholder and whoever's listening. Most people probably got the thing muted. They just look at me. They think I'm weird. Life is all about change. Nothing ever stays the same. Things have a way of working out, especially if you're proactive. Like this alien's mind. Everybody's got to be proactive. Yes, welcome. I talked to two different places. One quoted me $28,000 for a well, and the other quoted me, I think it was either $34,000 or $35,000. The reason is because I'm all the way up on a ridge, and I believe they had to go down 900 feet or something like that. So it's not a shallow well like I had at the ranch in Colorado where I hit water at 90 feet. So construction out here in Arkansas is weird on certain things. Like bulldozing work, excavation work, it's cheaper than Colorado, but then like wells are extremely more expensive. If you have somebody come in for concrete work, that is super expensive. But to frame, it's super cheap. So it's just, Arkansas is very, very weird on how they price things. I mean, they just go from one extreme to another extreme. You recently have spoken about your dogs not allowing visitors in your house. Do they allow visitors at a neutral area? Grizzly, like I had a boomer from Massachusetts, and Norman, everyone's skimming everyone else. Okay. Grizzly one, I had a visitor, one of my subscribers here on YouTube, one of my boomers from Massachusetts came out to visit in October. He wanted to come see the dogs, but I told him the dogs would eat him. So he brought a camper shell that was in his, a big camper thing in the back of his pickup truck. So he stayed in that. And then when he came in here, I had to let the dogs out. So it's just the dogs will never be, except Minnie Mouse. Minnie Mouse was socialized, so anybody can pet Minnie Mouse. He got to pet Minnie Mouse. But everybody else I didn't socialize because I wanted them to be protection dogs, not pet dogs. Even though, as you see, they're just taking it all in, just laying around the house, sleeping their butts off like pet dogs. I didn't want the pet dog aspect when it came to people. Another reason why is from being in the military, I do a lot of things strategic wise. I do everything in a military style fashion. Like my house, I built my house on the highest mountain. Why? Because then I have the high ground. My house is by 300-foot cliffs. So the odds of somebody climbing up the cliffs, not going to get there. If somebody comes up, and this is all doomsday stuff too, people. This isn't doomsday channel, but we all know I was a prepper at one point, big prepper. I'm still a small prepper now. But if doomsday happened, you got to get up 300-foot cliffs on one side, or climb the mountain on the other side at a 45-degree angle or 30-degree, whatever it is. But then I got dogs. So, you know, I've got a full defensive system. And then you look at these other YouTube channels that they have different people trespassing because they're up to, you know, 1 million subscribers. And then you get all the crazy people. And that's another reason why I don't join the multi-channel networks and all that stuff. I don't sell all these products. I don't do the channel... what's it called? I can't even think of it right now. Where the channels do things together. Two channels get together and they make videos and stuff together. Because I don't want to get super huge. I mean, I just broke 4,000 subscribers after all these years. And a lot of people are like, how is it taking you so long to get to 4,000 subscribers? And that's because I don't do all these things because I'm not worried about growing into a massive channel. I'm doing this so when and if, when means eventually I'll get old. Because like I said, aliens die at 200. So I still got like 160 some years to go. So when I'm older, I can look back at my life. And if I end up with dementia or Alzheimer's, like, which has run in my family in some of my different family members, I'm hoping my videos will be a trigger to bring me back. Kind of like The Notebook, for those of you that watch The Notebook. You ladies out there, a lot of guys don't watch that stuff. I watch all different stuff. But like he read The Notebook to her, and she would come back just for a little bit. My grandfather, I couldn't pull him back. Pictures, trophies, none of that stuff worked. But if I'm watching something, in my mind as an alien, I feel if I'm watching myself and listening to myself, that would cause and spark more triggers. Listening to the goals, listening to the motivation, the dedication, everything that's happened in my life. So that's what I was wondering. Well, thank you. Yep, lazy pups, Norman. And thank you for saying thumbs up button. That's what I'm talking about. Let me swing back to you, Grizzly. Yes. Yes, Grizzly. So, yes. If somebody came and tried to pet the dogs, they would be bit. Because they're protecting their area. That's what they're taught and trained. Now, do I have them trained where they sit all the time and listen to me all the time? No, they're Anatolian Shepherds. They're very stubborn. They're very hard-headed. They're very dominant. Also, if you don't know Grizzly One and everybody else, the homestead in Colorado, not the homestead, the ranch in Colorado, I fenced the whole 50 acres. So I wasn't under the screw in a sense where they had to be trained to sit They had to come, they had to stay and stuff like that. Because I wasn't training them like police canines or military canines. Because they had that full run. I should have done that. I didn't have the time to do it because I moved from my house where I finally had water, finally had some solar, finally had some relief, a bedroom that I could look out between my feet out of the 6-foot windows and see the mountain range, to living in a camper trailer taking care of my grandfather. I know I got the dogs at my house. I got Minnie and Mickey, and then they had Max before we moved. I just had so much stuff going on. I just got chickens, just got goats, then I started the YouTube channel. So I never got around to it. Now I am working with them. I do tell them to sit and stay and come and stuff like that. I have my own words for them. When they want to listen, they listen. I just haven't put the screws down to them where they need to do it. Eventually, when I get more Anatolian Shepherds, as mine get older, as Minnie was born in 2016, Mickey was born in 2016, they don't live like but 10 or 15 years, so I know eventually I'm not going to have them. Luckily, the camels, they live for like 50 years, so they're going to be with me for a lot more of my life. It's going to be hard. I already know it's hard because I still think about Monkey that got hit out here in front of the restaurant. Another reason why I want to be at the homestead, so I can enjoy all the animals that I have before it's too late to do that. So just want to throw all that stuff out there. Y'all are going to get me emotional now talking about all that. How much time does it take to fence 50 acres? Well, Norman, you're 62, so you tell me you're an alien, so you got plenty of time to have 2 sets of camels since they live 50, because you got at least another 100 and some years to go. But yeah, so that's my motivation. That's my determination, my excitement. I just getting that inverter, finding that inverter. I'm so excited. Not excited to be in debt. I know everybody thinks I'm excited to always be in debt and struggling. I do it because I'm trying to get to my goal. And that is, like I said, people that get cancer or ailments or things like that, they find out they got a couple months to live and they finally start to live their life. They don't just try to survive. And me, I'm trying to live. I'm scraping and doing what I can to get me there. Spending $2,500 a month on animal feed. Why? I could reduce my animals. But I love my animals. That's what makes my heart beat. That's what makes my soul feel warm, like sitting by a wood fire. It just gets in there in that excitement. And that's why I want to be at the homestead. Where I can be in the shed. Well, no, I won't say that. Where I can be in my house and have the fencing done, because I won't have the fencing done anytime soon. But have the fencing done outside of my house, and I can look out my doors and see the camels sitting there looking at me, waiting for a cookie or a piece of bread. And I can walk out on the porch and do a live stream and see my babies. That's my goals. That's my motivation. That's my determination. That's what I want for you guys. I want that childlike to come back to you. That childlike life force that everybody loses. And I think that's one of the things. I'll go on a side thing here right now. You had that right. The inverter will be an investment that pays for itself. Norman. Best thing about this post is he shared he played pool for hours. Been a decade since I last played. Oh, Norman, you want to talk about pool? When my boomer from Boston came out, we played horseshoes. Steve doesn't play as much horseshoes. He'd rather shoot pool. But my Boston boomer put it down on the horseshoes. He did good in horseshoes. He hadn't played for I don't know how many years. But yeah, horseshoes and pools, that's my game. But like I was getting to, you've got to make the sacrifice. You got to take that risk. You got to do what it takes to get you where you want to be. Because if you don't, you're just wasting your life. Life's not guaranteed. And you just got to do it. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing debt. That's why I just put everything up for sale. Try to get something to happen. And as soon as I get there, that childlike excitement, which still runs in me, is what I want for you guys, because that's the side thing I was trying to figure out where I was going to. So it brought me back around. Now I need a sip of coffee after all that. But I think one of the biggest things that ruin us as a society, community, population, whatever you want to call it, and that is, we're taught two things. When you're told about sickness, you die from the news. And the second thing is, you need to grow up as fast as possible. You need to be mature and grow up. By being a kid, in your head, mentally, we all know I still haven't hit puberty. I'll always be a kid. I'll wear my goofy hat. I'll be a child forever. But by doing that, that childlike excitement makes that motivation so much easier. That childlike excitement makes your determination so much easier and permanent, where you're determined nonstop. Nobody can deter you from anything, where you can hit that goal. My excitement to be at the homestead in my house is to be able to walk out and look up at the stars like a kid, like kids do when we used to ride bikes. And you go out and you're out past the lights going off, and then you get in trouble when you get home. But you stayed out there till the street lights came on so you could see the stars. At least I did. That excitement for me to be able to go out on my porch and have the camels right there. To go up and give Caesar a big bear hug. To be able to bring all the baby goats up into my porch area when I have all the baby goats. Or to go down to the barn when I eventually get the barn built with all the different rooms where I can put the moms and babies in there so the babies are taken care of so I don't have any losses. Where I can go out across the homestead with the dogs and chase a squirrel or an armadillo or a rabbit. Just to watch my babies run and have fun. To have my swimming pool that I just put in, that everybody said should come later because I have more important things to do. But for me, that childlike excitement to jump in my swimming hole this summer, hopefully there's water in the hole, but to be able to go swimming on my own homestead is going to be awesome. That's a childlike excitement you need. You have to be able to move forward, to be able to go for that goal, to go for that dream, to get everything accomplished. And don't wait until you're too old to do it. Because yes, mentally, I'm always going to be a child. But physically, I already know my limitations. Over the years, my neck and my back gets worse, just like the VA has told me. Not as bad as what they've told me, but I'm also not to 50 yet. Hold on. Norman put a bunch in here. I work with kids from, unfortunately, it's profit drive business, treating them. Yes, I believe in that too. Freedom, God bless the USA. Motivation to see an entity pursuing freedom instead of a 9-to-5 job. Boston Bruins. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about either, Grizzly One. With you've hunted the Bruins. That's beyond me too. And I would assume Boston Bruins is some type of sports team. I'm not into sports. But to sum up the video, because we're at an hour now, it just clicked over. To end this video, unless anybody has anything else they want me to talk about or come up with tonight, I think I'm going to end this stream. No, the bears. You have hunted the bears. You've hunted grizzly bears. Oh, y'all got me confused and combobbled. I don't know what you guys talking about. I'm going to have to go watch the Grinch now so I can talk like they do in Whoville. But that's what I want for you guys. I want you to not miss your opportunity, because you don't know when you step off the wrong curb the wrong way, or a vehicle swerves into oncoming lane, or your heart gives out, or a sickness hits you. You don't know how much time you have left. I want you to keep that childlike excitement with you. I want you to release it. When you end this video, if you're in a house with family, go into your own room and just get excited. Remember the days of when you got just super excited and just jump up and down and smile. Think about that goal now and get that same excitement for that goal. Go for it. Do it, and do it now. Dogs are barking at something. Or something was just barking. But with that, like always, live happy, live free. That's the only way to be. Oh, Mickey Mouse is dreaming. That's what it is. Have a great week. Accomplish your goals. Get that motivation. Get that dedication. Get that childlike energy and go with it. And give me some good information in a text message, an email, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Because I want to know you guys are accomplishing it too. I don't want you just to follow my journey. I want you to make your journey. I want you to have the excitement that I have. I want you to hit your goals the way you hit your goals. The way I hit my goals. It may be a struggle. You may have to go into debt. Or you may be a billionaire and you're able to do it all now. Do it now. We all work until we die. That's surviving, not living. With that, have a great night. I'll see you guys on the next video. If I haven't uploaded photos, I'll upload photos. And thank you, Norman, once again for the 2 super chats. That was way too generous of you. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had good Thanksgiving. Hope this year was good or turning out better. Hope next year's getting better for you. And with that, have a great night. Thank you, guys.